Are you getting frustrated because you go out every weekend, sometimes during the week, to nightclubs and bars? You're spending a lot of time there, effort and money, and yet you're not meeting any women. Well, that's because nightclubs and bars are probably the worst places to meet women. And I will tell you why, but most importantly, I'll give you 7 other ideas where to meet women with much higher success rates. But before that, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so when I talk about topics like this, you won't miss anything moving forward. First, let's talk what makes nightclubs and bars the worst place to meet women. Because most guys walk in a nightclub or a bar and they see all these women, they're dressed up, they're dancing, they're drinking, they seem like they're ready to mingle, but in reality nothing ever happens. So if you look at all the guys who show up to a nightclub or a bar, pretty much every single one of them is there to meet a new girl, unless they have a girlfriend or wife already there. But if you look at all the single girls in the club, most of them are not there to meet a new guy. Most of them are there for many other reasons. They're there to dance, to drink, to spend time with their friends, to even flirt and give out their numbers to guys, but just to pump up their ego, not so much to actually create any kind of a relationship, short-term or long-term. So that's why the ratio between willing guys and willing girls is absolutely ridiculously against your odds at any nightclub or a bar. But that's what it's all about, the ratio between willing men and willing women. It needs to be 50-50 at the very least, but of course I would suggest that you go somewhere where there are more willing women than willing men. So you have a better choice for yourself and your success rate will definitely be higher. Now, of course, it sounds kind of too good to be true, but it's not, because most guys, they just go straight to the bar and nightclub and they never even think that there is a creative way how to go about it. But there are actually plenty of places where there are more women than men, and this is what I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to give you 7 different types of places where you should go, where your success rate will be much better than at any nightclub or a bar. Number 1 on my list, dating websites and apps. Now, I know I said the ratio is the most important thing and the ratio is not usually that great online, but this is an exception because there's so many women you can meet in a short period of time with a minimum effort and money invested compared to anywhere else, and definitely nightclubs and bars where you can meet 50, 100 women in a 2-3 hour span, where online you can meet thousands of women within minutes. And most importantly, you do need to understand that when you create those profiles in those apps, you do have to put a lot of effort into it. There is some sort of a science to what to say in your profile, what kind of pictures to post, and I have a video about what kind of pictures to post in your profile, because that is the most important thing, especially with apps like Tinder and Bumble and so forth. But go ahead and watch it. I'll put a link to it right here in this video. But there are a lot of other videos out there about how to be successful with online dating. When people say, oh, I tried it, didn't work out, that's because you didn't put enough effort into it. So if you do, you will be much more successful online than anywhere else in person. And there are tons and tons of people probably who who have had great success online and mobile apps. Number 2, activity classes. This is something that's kind of a hidden gem. There are many girls who like taking classes like dance classes, Zumba, yoga, painting classes. If you show up to any of those classes, just peek in, you will see that it's mainly women. A lot of times there are no men there at all, and yet in places like dance classes, they're desperate for men because they all need to pair up for dancing, right? And because there are no men, it is a hot commodity. And again, these are the girls that kind of have their guard down, right? Because they're there for a class. And so that's good that they're not exactly expecting to meet somebody, and that's kind of the best way, I believe. And most importantly, they don't have the guard up, right? They're not at a nightclub where they're trying to fend off all these drunken guys. They're there to have a good time, and you're just one of those people who will be around and having a good time with them. And right away, you already have a common interest. You already know what each other looks like, and there is not much pressure about anything, right? Even to start a conversation. In a nightclub, it's kind of awkward, right? It takes some balls to kind of come up to the girl and start talking, at least for a lot of guys. But at any of those Zumba classes or yoga classes, it's kind of encouraged. Everybody who comes in there usually says hi to everybody and introduces everybody around. So you don't really have to put that much effort there to meet new people and women for you to mingle, flirt, or just be friends with. So I definitely recommend any kind of activity classes that are very female oriented: Zumba, yoga, dancing, and so forth. Number 3, festivals and concerts. So this is another activity that obviously a lot of women show up at, but their guard is down. And most importantly, there's no wall built to trying to fend off all these guys, because this is not a nightclub or a bar environment. This is where everybody usually gathered for the same interest, right? Whether to see a certain band or certain type of music. During summer, a lot of art and wine festivals that are fun, where you see a lot of different people having fun and just there in a very relaxed environment. At the same time, a lot of people are drinking. There are a lot of different topics to start a conversation on. Number 4, shopping. I know this sounds kind of weird, because you've probably seen some of the music videos where the guy and the girl meet each other at the grocery store, and it kind of all looks cheesy and corny. But to be honest with you, that's not a bad place to meet. And I'm not necessarily saying a grocery store. You can be shopping for clothes or for really almost anything. If you're browsing the store, again, this is not where usually guys go to meet women, so women are not really have their guards up. Again, there's usually same interest if you're in the same store. A lot of times it's actually kind of cute that a guy is shopping by himself sometimes, and so women kind of look at you more of a domesticated kind of a guy, so that's kind of a brownie points for you right away. It is also easier to talk because you're browsing around. It's a kind of a relaxed environment. A lot of times you end up looking maybe at the same item on the same shelf, and so again, the conversation, the starter, the icebreaker kind of comes up on its own. Sometimes you're literally in a position where you can't help yourself but just to make a comment on something that you guys are both checking out. And a lot of times when women are shopping, they're having a good time. Women love shopping, so they're more open to a positive interaction. But if the girl is not interested, it's not awkward either, right? You can say, a few words. If she's not interested, you will know right away. You can walk away like nothing happened. You don't get that shitty feeling when a girl kind of rejects you at the nightclub or a bar. This is much more a regular, relaxed environment, so it doesn't even feel like a rejection. Number 5, beauty salons. Now, I know most men want to have nothing to do with beauty salons and just absolutely hate the concept, but hear me out. We talk about ratio. Mainly in beauty salons is just women, and your hairstylist a lot of times like to be matchmakers. So if you go to the same beauty salon to get your hair cut and you have the same hairstylist, she'll get to know you a little bit better. She will start recommending some other of her clients or other hairstylist clients, and you can literally have to do absolutely nothing and be introduced to another girl. And by the way, you gotta get your haircut done anyway, right? Once a month, once in 6 weeks or so. Now you can go to a barber shop or Supercuts and you can watch ESPN and talk, football with your barber. Or you can go to a beauty shop where all these women come there to, usually women who do come there actually care about their appearance. A lot of times they are good looking women, and it's just all women environment. And by the way, don't be shy and get your nails done at the same time. A lot of men nowadays do manis and pedis, and a lot of women judge men based on their fingernails a lot of times. I have a separate video on that which you should watch, but just so you know, you can go to a beauty shop, get your haircut done, but also get your nails and toenails done at the same time, and I think you should take advantage of that. So beauty salons, try it and you will see it's not such a crazy idea at all. Number 6, volunteering. Now, I know a lot of us have hearts. I do. And my microphone. Instead of spending your 3-4 hours going out to a nightclub or a lounge or a bar, why don't you carve out those 3 or 4 hours and volunteer somewhere? A lot of good women volunteer for different causes, and I think if you're especially looking for a long-term relationship, you want to probably find somebody who has a good heart and donates her time and efforts to a good cause, whether it's animal or environmental or children or whatever. So, but at the same time, I would encourage you to do this for the right reasons. So if you were to volunteer, please volunteer for the cause that is dear to you, because if you're just gonna be there to meet chicks, it will be easy to spot. You will hate it. people probably won't react well to you. And lastly, number 7, dogs. Now the reason that I put it number 7 is because not all of us have dogs, right? And actually most guys don't have dogs. And by the way, please don't get dogs or puppies just to meet women. If you already have a dog, that's great. I'm just saying it's a great opportunity for you to meet women. Women love men who love animals. And I think that's self-explanatory. A lot of times when you walk your dog, I'm sure you've probably had it before where women will come up to you and ask you about your dogs, especially if it's a cute dog. But as long as it's a dog, it's definitely a good conversation starter. And this is one of those rare cases where women might come up to you and talk to you. Now, if you walk your dog in the same sort of route that you always have and nothing ever happens, then I would recommend that you change that. There are dog parks where you can go and meet a lot of other people, including women, and it's really easy to bond. Dog owners bond very easily over their dogs, especially if their dogs play together, and also you're going to be looked at as just a nice guy who loves dogs. So that's great. Also, maybe find a path that goes through a neighborhood or maybe a more populated area where you have a chance to meet more women. If you're a grocery store or another place allows dogs in there, take your dog to a grocery store and then combine to my recommendations of shopping and having a dog. It will definitely increase your chances of meeting a girl because you're combining two possibilities in one. Well, there you go. 7 places where you can now go and meet women with a much better success rate and not waste your time at nightclubs. As a matter of fact, I hope that from now on, when you do go to a nightclub, it's because you are already on a date. As a matter of fact, I think that's the only way you should be going to a nightclub, is because you already gone to a dinner with your date and now you just want to go out dancing and grinding against each other, whatever you're into, then it's a great place. But I wouldn't start there. I would start in one of these 7 different categories I just outlined. And again, I'm sure you will pick one that's right for you. 1 or 2 actually. Obviously, all 7 may not be a good fit for everybody. Now, by the way, if I missed anything or you disagree maybe with what I've said, go ahead and post your opinion and your comments down below here. I would love to read them. I will definitely reply to them. And that way you will add more value to this video as the comment section grow. But just like I said, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so when we talk about this and many other topics in the future, you won't miss anything moving forward. Thank you so much for watching and good luck.